Stop signs. Red doors like that. That's what I get. See, the traffic starts to be over at 100. Everybody.
Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order, February 3rd, 2026. Please stand for the invocation and pledge.
Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening, Lord, with our hearts open to you and our minds. And Father, help us to conduct business for the city of Statham in a way that's pleasing to you. And we ask you, Lord, to bring all of our hearts and minds together and work for the good of this city. We thank you and we praise you in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for being here tonight. It's a nice cold winter, but I hope everybody survived the snow and the ice, and we're glad you're here. I need to have someone amend the agenda.
Mayor, I make a motion to amend the agenda to add a discussion item number 3 to discuss purchasing a dump truck for Public Works.
I need a second. All in favor, show of hands. Okay, we'll put that down as V3. We need to go ahead and approve the minutes. I need a motion to approve.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the January 20th regular meeting minutes.
I need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, show of hands. Approved. We're going to begin with the reports. So, Finance.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For the financial report, I'll review the preliminary revenues and expenditures through January 31st, highlighting significant items worth noting. Please note that this is just a preliminary report and does not capture the entire month's activities. I will start with the city's main operating fund, the general fund. At this point, we are 58% through the fiscal year, with about 70% of total revenues received. Tax revenues are doing great at 78% of the annual budget. Property taxes, insurance premium taxes, and financial institution taxes have all come in. Franchise fees are still coming in and will account for the remaining budget. Licenses and permits are reported at 52% collected. While building permits have been coming in strong, we are still waiting on the majority of business license revenues to come in. Also this month, the city has received the first annual payment for parks as the result of the recently approved service delivery strategy, which came in at over $15,000. A budget amendment will be proposed to capture this activity. Charges for services is currently at 53% of the budget. This is from community center fees, vendor fees, police fees, downtown garbage revenues, and ball field rentals. Fines and forfeitures, which are attributable to municipal court revenues, are at 50% of the budget, and miscellaneous revenues is at 38% of the budget. For general fund expenditures, most of all the departments are near their year-to-date budgeted expenditure levels with a few exceptions. This is legislative committees, parks, inspections, and planning and zoning, which have exceeded their budget year-to-date. These departments will be monitored, and a mid-year budget amendment will capture known changes in anticipated activities. Additional expenditures will be recorded as staff continue to process January invoices. Overall, the general fund expenditures for the fiscal year is currently at 50% of the budget, which is on pace for the year. The SPLOS fund is reporting 51% of revenues received through November, and T-SPLOS revenues are at 48% of the budget. Keep in mind these revenues come in a 2-month lag from when they are collected. For the utility fund, revenues are doing well at 95% of the budget. This excess is due in part to the sewer capacity that was sold that was unbudgeted, as well as water taps more than budgeted levels year to date. The utility departments combined is reporting expenses at 55% of the annual budget, which is due primarily to invoices not being received yet and processed applicable to the month of January. No significant activity worth noting this month. That concludes the January financial report. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Any questions, council?
No. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Police Department?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'll be giving the police report for the month of January 1st through the 31st. We had a total of 503 area checks, 107 incidents, 9 accidents, 9 arrests, 165 traffic stops, 76 citations, a total of 136 reports. Then also we had a couple weekends with bad weather. That's a couple of pictures at the bottom. The one on the right, just a couple pretty red birds. And the other one was police cars that was told to stay at the police station and only answer calls for service due to the hazardous roads. Any questions of the police department? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Public Works,
Good evening, how are y'all?
great.
So for the month of January, we did all our normal monthly sampling for the EPD, all our reporting. We had several water leaks to repair. EMI continued the sanitary sewer evaluation. And as part of that sewer evaluation, we had Broad Street sewer line inspected via camera and scoped so we can see the condition and shape of that line. We're still reviewing that footage as well as EMI is doing that. The GDOT contractor continued the work on the relocating the water infrastructures along Barber Creek. And I also performed several site inspections of the new utility lines and all the installations and testing. We performed all the hydrostatic testing for those new lines that they've already put in so far, and those have passed, and they're continuing their way down the brand new road that they built to the treatment plant over there. They had to get them a new line down there since Wiley McGuire Road was being taken away for the exit ramp. So we replaced collapsed driveway culvert pipe on 8th Street. And you'll notice down Broad Street in some of the areas, Georgia Power finished up the upgrades for some of the lighting that we requested. So I believe it was December they got the lighting done in the little parking lot next to the depot across from the PD. And then we had several lights at these intersections upgraded from what they like a 5,000 K light to either a 14,000 K or a 20,000 K, making it a brighter light for the intersection. And then we also had some installed, especially towards the darker area of Broad Street, going towards Robert Bridges Park. One right there at the crosswalk going into the trail system, and then one at the driveway to that parking area for the trail system. Then we had one upgraded at Elizabeth Street and 3rd, where that school is, the school entrance is. So they got that finished up. So if y'all see any other areas that might need upgrading or we might need to add a light, y'all let me know. That was just in conjunction with what I've heard over the last several months. I kind of pinpointed those areas for what people, led on that, we might need a light here or there. But if y'all do see anything else or any other areas, y'all let me know. We cleaned up and removed a lot of tree debris at the field in Robert Bridges Park and the property lines. We began a major cleanup and debris removal inside and around the dog park and the trail system at Robert Bridges. And we repaired a lot of the dog park fencing. We've still got a little bit more to go, and we're going to put some new gates up there. We repaired the drinking water fountain at the dog park as well. Right here at Jefferson and Broad, we had a crosswalk sign repaired, new solar panel, and controls. And of course, the 2 bad weekends of weather, we prepped with all the equipment, all the facilities for the inclement weather, and kind of stayed on call, and as needed, we just had a couple trees we had to take down, and I don't know, it was pretty quiet. We got pretty lucky. So, any questions? Thank y'all.
If you haven't been out to the park, they have done a fabulous job with with the dog park and all the cleanup around the area where you can actually ride through the trails and things like that. Y'all have done a great job. I appreciate it. Looks really, really good. Really, really good. So thank you. I've handed out my mayor's report to the council. Some of the things that I normally don't do. I've started meeting with my REACH scholar, and so I'll be doing that a couple of times a month till the end of the school year. I attended Martin Luther King celebration at the Christian Missionary Church on Dooleytown. That was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it, and I hope that we'll be able to expand that into the city and working with other churches. I went to the Rotary Club meeting where we had 3 officers come from Statham to be trained with the Narcan Chamber Board of Directors, and I did meet with Mark Beatty at Northeast Georgia Regional Commission. He came out and walked Bridges Park, so now he's going to do us a scale like he did for Hillman, and so that's going to be something that we can look at and kind of move things around and do things that y'all like to do out there. So I'm real excited about him. He's going to try to get that done in a few weeks. Went to the Family Connection meeting, and so had a pretty busy January. So that's my report. All right, is there anybody that would like to do a committee report? Okay. So we're down to the discussion items. Number 1, Star Spangled Statham 2026 fireworks quote.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here to talk about tonight funding the 4th of July festivities with the fireworks. We did this last year because 4th of July is actually in our next year's budget, but we have to draw a contract if we're going to have this event and put some money down. So Karen just left, but like what we do is we allocate the money, and then when the new budget comes, we put that money back into the correct year. So right now, what I have done is I've reached out to several vendors trying to get a cost of how much it will be. So I'm hoping by maybe next week to go ahead and forward some quotes, and it seems like most of them is going to be $1,000 a minute, $1,200 a minute. What we did last year was we did a 10,000 If you want to increase that, that would be up to the council. But basically, that's why I'm here to say, if you want this event to occur, we are going to have to fund it in the 2025, but we'll pay for, 2026, but we'll pay for it when we get to the 2027 budget. Anyone got any questions?
Cheryl, I know that in the past this has been sponsored by local vendors or local businesses. Are we looking at getting some sponsorship for this?
Last year, the council decided to sponsor it.
All right, so what about going forward? Do you think asking,
at this
getting
time, I'm
potential
just
sponsorship for it?
asking the council to go ahead and fund it. And that's totally up to the council if you want to reach out to businesses for sponsorships. 2 things can happen. We can have more money, have more minutes, or we can aid the initial cost of it too, to offset it. But that's totally up to the council's discretion.
So last year's was 10 minutes?
Yeah, we did 10,000, yeah. And that's really a standard because they hold the insurance, they hold the risk. Really in this industry, that's what it's more about, is the liability of the insurance for each entity.
So they come in and do the whole show?
They do the whole show and they take all the risk, yes. And this became, Castos graciously did it for the city for many years. We appreciate them. But what happened was the fire marshal department came in and said, we have to have an entity that's going to hold the insurance and the liability and make sure they meet all the requirements through the state. So that's why that change occurred.
They declined to do it because of the cost of insurance and liability and all that? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
More because of the cost of the insurance. The insurance is not cheap to, let's say, you're setting up fireworks.
You have to have a pretty high insurance package for stuff like that per state regulations.
Yes.
I think it's over $1 million, if not more. I'd have to go look at it. So I know you and Debbie and I had talked one time, get that away from my mouth a little bit, about doing, or reaching out to some of the special effects people too. Do we know what the cost of that would be also if we did like a drone laser show? Because
The drone laser show, you can triple it.
okay, that's what I figured.
Yep. That price is skyrocket, and that is just, it would be great. It's a phenomenal show, but the cost of it for all those drones and performance is very expensive. In the future, it might come down to our budget. I don't know when, but right now, we'll be fortunate to, do our fireworks.
But there are people, actual pyrotechnic companies that have availability around that time still, with it being the 250th birthday.
Yeah, so there's still time slots. They're getting smaller and smaller.
Okay.
Go ahead and do it now.
But basically, this is the time that you have to draw your contract with them.
What is the date going to be this year?
This year, we have 3 dates. Winder is doing on the weekend of the 4th of July, and they're doing a pretty big show, so we did not want to compete with them. And going around the other areas, it's pretty saturated, so we were looking at the weekend before or the weekend after. And some of the companies I've talked to, they have openings the weekend, 2 weekends before the 4th, and they said it's lit up everywhere, Sunday through Saturday.
250th year.
Yeah. So I know that Winder can outdo us tremendously, so there's no need in competing with that. But this gives more variety, more places for the citizens in Barrow County and the surrounding counties to go see more colorful fireworks.
So we could do it on our own, but we can solicit.
That's at the council's discretion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or at least make an attempt to get
Yeah.
somebody around here to help us.
Well, that way, lots of different businesses can contribute without having burdens, so to speak.
Yeah. Right. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ordinance to allow for registration of private building inspection companies.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First, let me just begin by apologizing for the lateness with which this ordinance was sent out. I know that it's a lot to digest in a very little time. What this ordinance involves is an amendment to state law that happened back in 2021. So in 2019, the General Assembly of the State of Georgia said that they wanted to set up a framework where builders and developers can, if certain conditions are met, they can use private inspection companies, private reviewers or architectural plans in lieu of the city's professional staff, inspectors, and what have you. Back in 2019, the circumstances where that was allowed was if for some reason the city inspectors were unable to meet certain statutory deadlines. And again, the issue that they were trying to address is people submitting or waiting on inspections to get COs that were being delayed because of large governments who were backlogged on those inspections and what have you. Couple years later, a change was made to that statute, and they said, you know what, forget the whole statutory deadline thing. If a builder or contractor want to use private inspection companies, they have an unfettered right to do so. However, there's some costs, and the quid pro quo was they basically have to pay 150% of what our inspection fees would be to the city. And the city would still have the opportunity to kind of double check the work of the inspector. We don't want fly-by-night inspectors or what have you. Additionally, the amendment allowed cities to set up a framework for pre-approval of an inspector or a plan reviewer. So basically, we can say, yes, you're allowed to use private inspectors, but they have to be pre-approved by us. They have to have certain insurance requirements. There's a vetting process, if you will. And so recently, one of the developers that's currently building inside Statham has asked for permission to allow a private inspector to conduct building inspections, electrical inspections, and what have you of those houses. And we realized that our Code of Ordinances does not have that pre-approval process set up. And so this ordinance, which is modeled after Jackson County's ordinance, creates that. It basically says, here are the circumstances, here's how all these inspections are to take place. This is when you have to submit them to us. We still retain the right to say this is not correct or issue stop work orders. We can hold up COs if we don't think that the inspections are being done in accordance with our codes and what have you. It also allows for the creation of this pre-approval process and this vetting process. So I know, again, it's very early in the game. This is the first time you're probably even seeing it, but that's what this ordinance does. Like I said, it's a very robust and thorough one, almost verbatim lifted from Jackson County. You had to make, obviously, some tweaks to it and what have you, but this is an ordinance. Our inspector right now is Bureau Veritas. They do all of our building inspections, our plan review, and what have you. They use this exact ordinance out in Jackson County, so they're familiar with it. So there will be a synergy there as well. If you have any preliminary questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you want to take some time to digest this, we'd like to get this adopted this month, but if it can't be adopted this month, it needs to be tabled to allow y'all more time. Totally understandable. Again, I apologize for the delay in getting it to you.
So basically, the meat of this thing to amend is to give the city the right to do a double inspection if we needed, felt like we needed, or to approve.
We already have that right. If somebody uses a private inspector, we're not obligated to accept as gospel what that private inspector says. We still have the right under the general law. This is more a matter of creating the pre-approval process and the vetting process for the private inspectors. If they're not on the pre-approved list, they can't be used.
So is there language in here to cause them to be, or to submit that inspection to the city when they do it?
Yes.
That way we can keep at least an electronic file on it?
They have to. They have to submit all inspections. So what's said in here, and this is basically just taken from state law, within 1 day of the actual inspection themselves, the physical inspection, the inspection report has to be submitted to the city. Bureau Veritas will still review it, just that report, to make sure that it is thorough, complete, there's photographs and what have you establishing proof of compliance. If for some reason Bureau Veritas finds that report to be deficient, they have the right to issue a stop work order, order a reinspection. There's also penalties set out in here for what happens if one of these inspectors falsifies things. So we cover all manner of sin in here.
Any further questions?
And again, as you look over it, and I'm happy to answer any questions via email as well. Thanks.
Appreciate it, Jody. Number 3, come on back.
I gotta listen to me again. So we have, in the approved 26 budget, there's a line item for the purchase of a vehicle. That's to replace the current dump truck we have. It's a 1983 model. It's currently 43 years old, and it smokes like a freight train. And we're just going to put more, we're putting more money into it to repair it than it's worth. It's definitely lived its useful life for us. As I've been here, we've kind of cleaned up and got rid of unused and unneeded equipment and kind of replaced what we've needed to. And this is one of the last puzzle pieces is to replace this dump truck. That's very much needed. We are currently using our bucket truck that we purchased to haul our 8-ton trailer and excavator around. So I do request that we, look over this and make a approval of this month to purchase the dump truck and replace that ancient one we have. You'll go through, you'll see the list of quotes. I got several quotes for a dump truck. The one I am recommending is from Hackett Sales or Hackett Truck Sales. They are out of Winder, and they did come up right under our approved budget amount at $49,900. This is a used truck, as are most of these trucks, because if we were to buy new, this would be a 6-figure truck. But this will be a used vehicle. It's low miles, 72,000 miles on this truck. It currently has a flatbed on it. This will include, the purchase price will include a brand new dump body and all the controls and what's needed to operate that, with the 5-year warranty on it. It'll also have a brand new hitch, new lighting, storage boxes, any kind of wiring that's needed for it. And that is all included in the purchase price at $49,900.
The hydraulics on this truck, will they be new as well?
For the dump bed, yes.
They will be new.
Mm-hmm. It'll be a new hoist system and all that on the truck. The hoist system have a 3-year warranty. The bed and the body will have a 5-year warranty. Yeah, they'll perform all the work and warranty it. And I believe he said, and I've actually personally went and looked at these since they're 15 minutes down the road. There was 3 from Hackett Truck Sales in your quotes. I personally looked at all 3 of these trucks, and all of them are in great condition, especially this one that I'm recommending.
That's the 09, 72,000 miles?
Yeah, correct.
49 grand?
Yes, sir. And that is the only one that is under
budget.
our budgeted amount. The other one comes in at about $1,000 over, and the next one comes in about $4,000 over, and then it just goes up from there.
What would be the plans for the old one?
We would surplus it, auction it off.
What do you think the value of that would be?
We might get somewhere in the neighborhood of $3,000 to $7,000 for it, or $3,000 to $5,000 for it.
I mean, it's still operational.
It's still operational. It'll be good for local farm use or something like that, or parts even. But like I said, it is a 43-year-old vehicle, so it's definitely weathered its fair amount of days. But if you're getting broke in, there you
It's
go.
broke in real well.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm older than that, and I'm still running.
I hear you.
So it's a 6.7, it's diesel, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
it's a diesel, okay,
That requires a CDL?
yes.
Yes, it does.
It
And I
does.
have 2
How many of your
CDL.
guys have them?
I got 2 CDL drivers currently. And like I said, and I looked at the option too. Speaking of that, I looked at a non-CDL option as well, and they were about the same price, if not more, to go right up under CDL. So,
Understood.
and then you just get more hauling capacity out of
The
these.
Cummins is a good engine, so.
Yeah, correct. So that would be my recommendation. Any questions I'm able to ask over, the period of time, y'all let me know. But like I said, it is a budget item. I think I did put in my email the line item that it's on. Nikki, do you have that? Y'all got the copy of my
Yeah.
email. Explaining
Yeah.
it, but you'll show the line item and it's got the amount that was approved in the 26 budget. Any other questions?
If none, we're done. All right.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, do we have anybody signed up for citizen input?
We have one speaker, Mayor Mary Lay.
To everybody, good afternoon. My name is Mary Lay. I live 462 Grace Road here at the edge of Statham. And my complaint is there's a group of people working out on our land. It belongs to my sister. And one day I was going to the post office, and when I got to the end of my driveway, this truck was sitting in the middle of the driveway, which is a dirt driveway. And he had all kind of lines and things out there. He said he was tied up with AT&T, but it's our land, and you can't go on nobody's land because you pay tax on the land. I asked him who gave him the approval, and these Latinos, I hope I got it right, Latinos, a lot of them, they are saying things you can't understand what they are saying. So one of them handed me the phone. I said, who told you to dig those 2 holes on my sister's land right in the corner, deep holes? He said Statham. Now see, I don't know, y'all know. He said Statham told him he could build it. The Latino handed to some of his boss on the phone. They'll hand you a phone because they can't understand what you're saying. And they had me the phone and said, Statham. I said, well, you deal with people, you don't deal with the owners? He said, Statham. I don't talk to everybody. Statham knows I'm doing this. So anyway, it went on for a while. So I went on to Statham. I come back, and they had our little dirt road blocked with water running everywhere. And so I motioned for him to move his stuff. He didn't move. See, they can't understand what you're saying. They got phones in their hand. And I said, move, and he didn't. So therefore, he bumped into my car. I have a picture here. My car on the side, he damaged. And then one of them handed me this phone again and says, we deal with Statham. I said, well, who told you to do all this, working on people's land? He said, I don't talk to, I said, you don't get no permit or nothing? He said, well, I talked to the head folks, Statham. That's all I could get out of it. But in the meantime, my car is bumped on the side. I was trying to keep the picture up, but it's bumped on the side because they can't understand. If you deal with them, you can't understand what they're saying. They'll hand you the phone. And this is how, and it's very muddy out there. Maybe you need to ride out there. On our corner, it's muddy, very muddy. Where the new pavement is, it's water and mud running right on that corner. But in the meantime, they dug 2 holes on Johnny Burke's land. You don't dig holes on people's land and hadn't consulted them about it. She pays the tax on the land. So that's what the question that I asked first. How did you get the approval? He said Statham. Now see, I can't say this is not true. I don't know nothing about none of it. But he says he's AT&T, whoever it is. He said they are putting a line out there. But you can't put lines on people's land that you don't own. So my complaint tonight is that you all ride out there and see it's very muddy. I just come from home. It's muddy out there. On our corner where you drive on 462 Grace Drive, it's muddy because the snow and all is very muddy out there. Plus, my car is hit on the side. Where he backed, he had all kind of lines and things, and he backed his truck into the side of the passenger side. And that is my story tonight. I need help with getting my car fixed. Because I was tending my own business. And then the next thing about it, you don't dig holes on people's land that you don't pay tax. So that's my problem that I'm bringing to you all tonight. And I'm not being smart about it, but you know we all have to pay our tax. And you just don't go up on people's lands and dig holes. I think that's what it said to me when I got to the corner. I saw these 2 big holes dug. I said, who told you to do that? Then that's when they handed me the phone and said their boss told them or something, they kept saying. And they hooked me up with some man, and I don't know what he was saying on the line. He just kept saying AT&T. So y'all know what the company it is or whatever. In the meantime, I think they are putting a cable line out there, but they need to get the right of way. You don't go on people's land and ain't got no right of way. So that's my speech for tonight. And I hope you'll help me get my car fixed. It's bumped on the side. Because he wouldn't move. Sir?
Did you file a police report?
No, I didn't file no police report. Because I was just out done. Because they shouldn't be digging holes on people's land that they don't own. You'd be real mad if somebody come over there digging on yours when you got to pay tax. And see, we don't know who's they. I haven't seen no paper. I don't think my sister seen the paper where they got the right of way to put AT&T. I think he said AT&T was putting the line out there. Now, see, I don't know. I'm telling it like I got it. But if you don't believe me, ride out there to that corner. And it's muddy, and it's messy, and toes are dug out there. You need to get the right of way if you're going to dig holes on people's land. And I'm not being smart. I'm just speaking of what's true. All right, thank y'all. And I hope you'll see fit. The Lord will help y'all see fit to help me get my car fixed on the side. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lay. Okay.
No other speakers are signed up, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Lay. I need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
I need a second. All in favor, show of hands. This meeting is now adjourned.